for the last 8 years, I really like neglected my own personal health. Gained a lot of weight in the process.
Your vibe attracts your tribe. You were on the path of self improvement, bettering yourself.
It's not like that type of depression where you're crying for help and looking for attention. It's you're really debating with yourself if it's worth it anymore.
Welcome to the Rain from Within show. I'm Shane. This is a story about how some battles are not loud, they're silent. They're fought in your own head while the world thinks that you're fine. Today's guest is Aaron. We call him AR. For 8 years, he lived on autopilot, working, paying bills, caring for his grandmother, trying to maintain a marriage, and neglecting himself in the process. At 250 pounds and facing serious health risks, everything eventually caught up to him. He couldn't fix his job, he couldn't fix other people, but he could fix his health. This episode is about redirecting pain into discipline, building structure when your mind feels unstable, and discovering purpose through service and community. Guys, super great episode with AR. Make sure you like the episode, drop a comment of your biggest takeaway, make sure you're following, subscribed. Let's get into it. Enjoy the show. So, AR, also known as Aaron. Do close friends call you AR, or do only everybody call you AR?
Um, it kind of varies.
Cool.
You know, family calls me by my Hawaiian name.
Yeah, we got to dive into that in a sec here. So let's just start off. You said that 8 years, like for 8 years, you were living on
Yeah.
autopilots. What does autopilot actually look like day to day?
Um, well, I've been married, right? I've been married for the last 5 years, but I have been in a relationship with that woman for the last 10. So, straight out of high school. And for a long time, my mindset was that I would take care of everything I needed to take care of: work, family, my marriage, and stuff. And everything else would kind of take a back seat temporarily. And yeah, so for the last 8 years, I really like neglected my own personal health. Gained a lot of weight in the process, at risk for a lot of health problems. And yeah, I didn't realize what I was doing to myself by putting all these other things in
Yeah,
front of me.
you said you kind of confused depression with discipline. Can you walk me through that and like what did that mindset sound like in your head?
Yeah, for sure. So the entire time I'm working, taking care of family, taking care of my wife, and I really put no time into anything else besides the priorities. The thing was like, I have a grandmother that I take care of, and she's actually like borderline bedridden. She's losing the ability to walk and stuff like that. She's 90 years old.
Yeah.
So she kind of became one of my main priorities. So I had I had changed my entire routine to do that. I was working from like 4 a.m. in the morning till about 12 to 1 in the afternoon. And then I'd spend all afternoon taking care of my grandma
Wow.
while my wife was working afternoon shifts. So she'd come home late at night around 11. So, I'd have to spend time with her and do things like that. So really, I was running on like 2 to 3 hours of sleep on a daily basis.
It's insane,
Balancing
dude.
all of that. Yeah.
Wow, working, paying the bills, caring for your 90-year-old grandmother, maintaining a marriage you're trying to, and like then when did you realize that you had completely neglected yourself?
Well, that's where I confused discipline with depression, right? Because in my mindset, I'm like, I'm handling everything I'm supposed to be handling.
Hmm.
Um, everyone my age is going out partying. They're not focused on things the way I'm focused on it. So, I kind of looked at myself like, I don't want to say like I was better than everyone else, but I felt like my mindset was stronger than other people that I was interacting with.
Yeah.
And I realized that was a huge mistake because the entire time I'm neglecting my body, my health is getting bad. Everything kind of started coming out at the seams. And it wasn't until the ending of 2024 that I really realized that I was having a problem. So my other grandma, not the one that I take care of, but on my father's side, she actually passed away from thyroid cancer back in 2024. And still throughout that process, like I didn't really grieve it. I kind of carried on autopilot. Like I said, I kind of was just like tunnel
Hmm.
vision on the work, on the task I had at hand. I never really sat down and sat with myself about it. And that was kind of like the big wake up call, really, that like
Got you.
I might be, I might have some type of problem going on with me.
Yeah, and was that when you were about 250 pounds as well, and you were
Oh
developing the
yeah,
sleep
yeah.
apnea?
I was just about there at 250.
Got you. Wow. So walk me through now the breaking point. This was when your marriage ended. What did that moment force you to have to confront?
Yeah, so that was my biggest mistake was thinking that everything I was doing was a form of discipline because through the process, yeah, like I said, I gained a lot of weight. My wife lost attraction to me, and then
Hmm.
she cheated. And for a long time, like I blamed her for it. And today I realized like I probably had the biggest role in all of that because I neglected a lot about myself, thinking I was doing the
Uh,
right thing.
yeah, dude. Sorry you had to go through that. It's gosh, you're making. I just had flashbacks of like past relationships, but dude,
Right.
let's not get into that. Let's talk about the. You talked about like real depression isn't dramatic. It's the quiet conversations in your own head, right? When did
Yeah.
those conversations start to get louder, and or like when did you realize that there were things you couldn't control, like your job, your grandma's health, your marriage? Like what shifted when you decided to take back control of your health instead?
Well, yeah, that real depression thing that we're talking about versus the version that is portrayed on social media and TV, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there and I'm looking at everything going wrong. I got a grandma that passed away. My marriage is falling apart. My other grandma is bedridden. Everything just seems to be spiraling out of control. And I get to the point where I'm questioning, is being alive even worth all the stress? And it's not like that type of depression where you're crying for help and looking for attention. It's you're really debating with yourself if it's worth it anymore. Like suicide really becomes like a very realistic option when you're looking at everything in that perspective. And that's what I was fighting with. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, everything is going wrong. Everything is falling apart. I can't control everything. Like, what can I do? I can't stop my wife from cheating. I can't make my grandma younger. I can't save my other grandma. Like, what can I do at this point? And really, the one thing I start looking at is like, well, I'm overweight. My health is not the best. And that's really like the one thing in this situation that I can control. Like, I can't control anything else.
I love that. I'm
So,
so glad that you had that revelation because, yes, and it's the biggest flex to be able to take care of your health in a society like today where it's so easy to be distracted by the junk food and the bad vices and to blame other things that happen in your life to say, hey, like, I don't need to prioritize the gym right now because I have to deal with all these other problems in my life. When in reality, yes, your health is the most important thing because you can't take care of anybody if you can't take care of yourself. So
right.
you had that revelation. That's amazing. You started going to the gym. You said you started going for 2 to 3 times a day. So it's quite the 180, huh? What did training give you mentally that nothing else could at the time?
Well, during this realization, I realized that my mind wasn't really like in a strong place. Like, I'm thinking about suicide. I'm thinking about all these negative things. So like my mind is not in a good place. So I really just start with let's go to the gym because when I was going to the gym, that was really the only time the thought of suicide left me. I would leave the gym and the thought would come back.
Mm.
And so I realized that I was only depressed when I wasn't in the gym because that was like the best form of being productive that I could give myself with everything going on.
Mm.
And
Okay.
that's what led me to go like 3 times a day was because sometimes the thoughts would just keep coming back. So I would just find myself back at the gym and back over there.
So let's get into like where that shift started. Was it when we got into the impact of the community and how you started to inspire others without ever trying to? You said people started to come up to you saying that you help them. Is that kind of the transition period of where it became less about your situation and you started to be able to feel better outside of the gym as well? Or what was the shift that has gotten you to where you are now?
Yeah, so in the process when I started, um, I had a friend of mine who was suffering from a like an alcohol problem. And his marriage was on the rocks as well. He was in a similar position as me, but he had the chance to fix it, and it was like that was like his final opportunity to get it together. So I'm in the gym. He's coming with me to the gym. Um, I kind of got a lot of time on my hands more because my marriage is no longer in existence. We're in the process of divorce at this time. So I kind of end up giving a lot of time to this person. I went with them to like AA meetings and stuff like that. We'd hit the gym together. He got sober, and he was able to save his marriage in the process. He was able to clean up. He got his like 30-day sober chip and stuff like that. He lost a lot of weight as well. Um, yeah, he repaired things with his family and was able to get things back on track. And yeah, he sent me like this super long text message about how I saved his life and everything. Everything that he has today is thanks to me and stuff. And that kind of that kind of started chain reaction. Like
Mm.
without realizing it, I just kind of started engaging with people a lot more. A lot of people I came into contact were having similar problems, whether with marriage or family and stuff like that. And somehow my interactions with them were able to help them. I got like a few people on like a health journey after that. And I got a lot of people to come to the gym. I got a lot of people to kind of change their lifestyle while I was trying to change mine.
That's awesome. Let's go. So you said helping others kind of lit a fire inside of you too. And that service definitely pulled you forward. And then you joined Strength. How long have you been a part of the brand now?
Yeah, so I actually joined, I believe, in the second week of October 2025.
Yeah.
So I was about 2 months into my fitness journey at the time period. I was still battling depression, still fighting that thought of suicide. Um, and, my TikTok had become pretty much like all gym stuff on my For You page
Mm.
because that's all I'm looking at right now is I'm learning workouts, looking at different strategies on losing weight, fitness, things like that. And one day, your ad for strength popped up on my TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
and it was saying, apply, send a letter about yourself, and see if you're a good fit for the brand. And so that resonated a lot with what I was trying to do with other people, trying to get them on fitness and stuff. And then here's a brand that's also trying to get people into fitness, trying to get people to better their lives. So I felt like instantly it was the correct place for me to be at. And
Dude, yeah.
so I applied, and not even within like 30 minutes, I got like a response from you and Diego. Like
Yeah, we're pretty on top of it, bro. And we get a lot, like, no offense at all. We have people that come from all walks of life. Some people just are not in alignment. But when we see somebody, we call it out. We're like, yo, let's hop on a call and or let's get you introduced. So props to you. And I say this a lot, but your vibe attracts your tribe. You were on the path of self improvement, bettering yourself, and there's no coincidence that you saw our brand. It popped up. You're in alignment, and I'm super glad that you took the call to be more, and you're here now. So you described adding structure and accountability to your life like nitrous to a race car. Can you walk me through that? How have things changed with your intensity level since October?
yeah, so during my whole fitness journey, I started to see like massive progress like as days went by, like 250 pounds dropped to like 230 pounds by October. When I joined you guys, I was already 20 pounds down. And then when I got on with strength, I got on a few of the supplements, the protein powders, the magnesium and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And still going to the gym 2, 3 times a day. I kind of just, it no longer became a like, what if I get in shape? You know what I mean? What if I get healthier? Like, I'm getting healthier. I'm getting in shape. Like, nothing is stopping this at this point. Like, now I'm part of a fitness brand. Like, I just keep stepping up as I go on.
I gotta,
And
yeah, dude, major props to you. You went from 250 to now you're at 195, right? In 6 months?
193, yeah.
Or sorry, yeah.
Six,
Yeah. Dude,
yeah.
beyond the weight though, what changed internally?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like, I went to the gym because like my mind was weak and I didn't know how to deal with that. So I went to the gym. And by going to the gym, I actually fixed my mind. Like I'm training my body, but it's my mind that's getting stronger because I started building that structure for the gym. Gym became like a priority, like brushing your teeth. Like I get up, I gotta go to the gym. Like no
Yeah,
matter what happens today, like I gotta hit the gym.
I love it. Yeah, because you know when you go to the gym, you gotta break down the muscle for it to grow bigger. And so
Yeah.
I want to talk about pain for a sec. You said redirecting pain, and you said that sometimes pain can be your best friend. So what do you mean by that?
So what I mean is like in my case, all the negativity I had going on with my grandma, my marriage falling apart, that I thought was the worst thing that could happen to me because that was fueling my suicide thoughts. That was fueling my depression. That was making me feel like life wasn't worth it. Then I got into the gym and I started using that as like my motivation. Like, okay, I'm starting from zero again. Like, obviously, the person I was, it's not working in this world. Like, it's not benefiting me in any way. So that person's got to go. I gotta completely like destroy that version of myself. I
Ooh,
gotta like realize who I am now. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that person doesn't work for me.
Your
And
story,
so
yeah, sorry. I was
no,
gonna
no, no,
say
no.
your story is so similar to one I talked to with Fry. You'll hear about it with the Rain from Within show as well. But identity shift, right? Changing and thinking like every feeling you have in your body, it's trying to signal something, it's trying to tell you something that it needs change. There, something needs to change, right? So
Right.
I love everything that you're saying because it's in full alignment with that episode as well. But tell me something here. So, for someone that is silently struggling right now, what would you tell them about building structure and discipline and seeking help?
Well, there's this quote that I've been using a lot, like pretty much since I started, and it's the price of progress is pain. Everything you want in life, every goal you have is going to cost you everything that you have currently. It's going to cost your comfortability. It's going to cost your everything that you don't want to give up is what you're going to have to surrender if you want to reach your goal. So that's what I kind of realized. I was just like, the whole suicide thing, like I was I was partially right in a way. when it came to it. Like, I do need to kill myself, but not in the way that people think.
The
You know,
old
like
version of yourself.
you live every day, and you make a couple mistakes and stuff like that, and at the end of the night, you gotta just like run through it, and you're not gonna make those same mistakes the next day because you're not gonna be the same person the next day.
Mm,
You know, you learn something today that's gonna affect how you are tomorrow. You can't bring the person of today into who you're gonna be tomorrow.
absolutely. Yes. What does strength mean to you today? Just the word strength.
Oh well, you know, for me, it's like strength is more like spiritual than physical. It's a fitness brand, but for me, it starts deep. You
Yeah.
know, you gotta kind of be able to just see the possibilities in what you can do, no matter what you're going through. Like, there's no such thing as negativity. You know, everything can be used in a positive way. It's not happening to you. It's just life is gonna keep going regardless.
Yeah.
And it's up to you what you do with it.
Oh my gosh. You have such an incredible story of turning pain into power and really just embracing the dark seasons, AR. I'm so proud of you, so grateful that you've come a part of strength. Where can people find you on socials?
So on socials, it's I really just got TikTok and Instagram. I don't really post on Instagram, but on TikTok, it's Savage X Panther.
Let's go. Yeah. You got any last minute anything you want to plug? Anything we should know about?
Um, yeah, you know, if something is upsetting you, if anything's going on, um, just always know that it can change. Up to you. Whatever you want to do with it is how your life is going to be. You know, you can sit there and you can be upset about it, and you can let the darkness take you, or you can learn from it and you can decide like that's not where you want to be, that's not where you want to go, and you just head in a different direction, and you'll see different results.
I love it, bro. You literally, oh my gosh. It reminds me of like my book where we talk about like using the dark fuel and really channeling
Right.
that because that season that you had to go through with the getting the divorce and all the negative things with starting to prioritize your health, it really just probably gave you unlimited motivation once you figured out how to grow that mentality that you found going to the gym so dang consistently, the 3 times a day sometimes. I'm just so proud of you, man. And you're the definition of going from victim to victor. So let's
Yeah,
go, bro.
I appreciate that.
Seriously. Guys, if you have not already, make sure you like the episode, you're subscribed, you're following, comment your biggest takeaway. AR went crazy. I felt like this was an extremely fun pod. So make sure you give him his flowers, you follow him on socials, you drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. And above all, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you in the next one.